Hello everyone, this is Witcher, the Wandering Wizard, and I'm here again with your Twin Flames, the Twin Within energy report for the week of November 18th through the 24th. Alright, so I'm going to get right to it. Sorry this is coming out late. I was actually out helping a friend today clean out her father's apartment. So that made it a little later. I'm going to try and really get good at getting these out early on the Sunday. I feel my energy's better then anyway. I don't know. I just always like my readings when I get them done earlier in the day. So jumping right into it, for the feminine energy, that we all have, we've all got it. That's why you have the yin yang symbol. We all have the masculine, we all have the feminine. Regardless of which one you identify more with, you always have both. And the whole idea of the twin flame journey is to come into union within yourself. And when you do that, everything else in your external world will line up. So that is the journey as far as I'm concerned. And that person you think is your external twin, whether they are or they aren't, they're there to help you learn and grow. They're there as mirrors to reflect back to you what you need to address. And in that sense, it's really good because without a mirror reflecting back to us, it's really hard to work on yourself. Right? So for the feminine energy of this week, we got the Three of Wands, in the upright position. All right, so my take on the Three of Wands is this. You get the Ace of Wands, that's the inspiration that comes to you. Aha, I've got this inspiration. And then the Two of Wands is you making the decision, am I actually going to move from inspiration into action, right? So I think that the Two of Wands is the card of initiation. So initiation is that bridge that connects the idea to the action, right? Taking initiative. So it's the card of initiative, taking initiative. The Three of Wands is really, you're still not in action yet, but what you're doing is you're preparing. So you're doing that internal inventory. Okay, now that I've decided to act, what do I need to do to get myself lined up to get into action, right? So at any given time, you may have a lot of different things going on in your life. And anytime you're going to launch a new project, start something new, do something different, you have to kind of take inventory of what's going on, not only within yourself, but in your external world, and say, where am I in alignment with this goal, and where am I needing to get into alignment? Like, am I putting my energies into something else that I need to maybe curtail? Am I splitting my energies amongst too many things? I need to cut back on some other things so that I can really focus and get myself set up to succeed on this new venture, right? So that's the Three of Wands to me. That's the card of preparation. So, taking that internal, external stock of the situation and doing what you need to do in order to get lined up for when that opportunity comes to start moving forward, get in alignment, right? So preparation, internal, external alignment, that's the Three of Wands. All right, so that's the feminine energy, right? So right now, feminine energy is taking stock of where you're at in your life and really starting to say, I've got this new idea. I've decided to move forward with it. What do I need to do in order to make myself successful, so that I can have enough of my resources focused on this new thing to be successful? That's the Three of Wands. All right. Now for the masculine energy, we got the Seven of Cups. And I think this actually works really well with the Three of Wands, because the Seven of Cups, as you're taking stock of your situation, you're looking at all the different things that you have an interest in, and maybe all the different things that you're wanting to give energy to. And sevens always mean discernment, whether it's the Seven of Coins, knowing when to harvest, the Seven of Swords, knowing when to cut and run, get while the getting's good. The Seven of that was the Seven of Swords, Seven of Pentacles. Oh my God, the Seven of the Seven of Wands is sort of taking your idea out into the world and knowing how to compete amongst all the other, competing ideas that are out there, right? So how to externalize that. It's strategy. So, and then the Seven of Cups is really like you have all these passions, but you don't have an unlimited amount of time and effort and energy, resources. So it's really getting clear with what are your priorities? Which one of these things is going to make the cut? Which one of these things are you really going to put your time and energy towards? Because you can't do it all. I wish we could. Maybe someday we'll get to that point where we can break free of our current three-dimensional limitations, and we'll be able to work on as many things as we want. But right now, we're stuck in this sort of linear three-dimensional existence, and we've got to pick and choose. You got to pick and choose. What's the most important thing? So as you're starting to prepare and get ready to put your energies and efforts towards this new idea, this new passion, you got to really prioritize. You got to pick and choose and say, what do I need to cut out? Where do I need to pull back? Otherwise, you're just going to do everything half-assed. Nothing's going to come out well. It might come out. It won't come out well because you can't put your full time and attention to this. And trust me, I know this well. Right? I'm one of those people that I have a lot of interests. I have a lot of things tugging at my heartstrings as far as interests and passions go. But you just can't do everything. So pick and choose, get really clear. And the best way to do that is to really meditate on what are your goals. I mean, that's what meditation is really good for. It's about pulling your energy in. Normally we're sending our energy out in all different directions, out, and so meditation brings it in, and you can kind of start to resonate. You can feel that resonance within you. What does your heart really want? Because your heart, not your mind. A lot of times, because we have emotions. We attach emotions to our thoughts, and people confuse that with what their heart is telling them. Right? So you get an idea in your head, and that idea is attached to an emotion. But that's not necessarily your heart talking to you, right? Your heart is basically your bliss. It's that thing that you just, it's not there to make you feel better. It's not a Band-Aid. It's not a Band-Aid covering up a wound. It's that thing that is just like your magnetic north. You just can't steer away from it. Your heart just keeps drawing you back to it. And it's not out of fear. It's not out of trying to recover from a wound. It's just out of this thing that's always there, that's always part of your interest, that's always, something that you can't stop thinking about. And you might even be a little bit afraid of it. You might be trying to resist it. You might be something that really challenges you. But it's there. Like you're magnetized to it. You cannot stop thinking about it. always pulls you back. So that's what your heart wants, and your heart is your soul, right? Your soul pattern says, I want this. All of these other things are distractions. And distractions aren't bad. Having a few distractions here or there, that's the flavor of life. That's the spice of life. But you've got to know what your true calling is, what your primary goal is, what your number one priority is. And when you can figure that out, and you can put a sufficient amount of your time and attention to your soul's true priority, you will feel better. You will live a better life. Things will fall into place. And then the time that you do spend on those other wonderful distractions will be even nicer, because they will be wonderful distractions instead of Band-Aids trying to soothe your soul, the fact that you're not following your soul's calling. Right? Instead, it'll be, just a lovely cherry on top of the cake that is already you're following your path in life. So that's the 7 of Cups. So the masculine really needs to figure out, do some meditation, do some active meditation. A lot of times, active meditation, it's like, one of the best things that I've done is I've been trying to figure out what's a distraction versus what's my true soul's calling, is I get into that activity. Let's say my heart's kind of pulling me in one direction or another, and I'll get into one of those activities, and then I'll kind of pay attention. As I'm doing that, I'll pay attention to how do I feel? How's this making me feel? And I might be really drawn to do that activity, but while I'm doing that activity, and especially right after I stop doing that activity, how does that make me feel? And if I'm not feeling good, that's like a huge sign that this is a distraction and not a part of your soul's true calling. Like if you're feeling anxious while you're doing the activity, even though you're so obsessively thinking about it, but you feel kind of anxious while you're doing it, or you feel a little anxious after you're doing it, or kind of like you don't really feel good after you've done it. Like there's a part of you that knows you've just wasted some of your time, or you're not really focusing on what you need to focus on. Or there's something that's just a higher priority calling for your attention. Then that's not it. But when you get into that activity that is really a part of your soul's true calling, time stops. Time stops, and you are in the moment, and you feel good during and afterwards. And that is how that's your true north. That is your true north. That's part of your true north, right? So I call it active meditating. You get into action with the thing that you're wondering about, and you just pay attention. You kind of get into that observer mode as you're doing this activity, and you pay attention. How does this make me feel? And if there's any bit of that sort of anxiousness or guilt when you're doing it, then that's not your highest priority. That's not your highest calling. So do that. Start taking stock as you prepare to move forward with this new passion that you've decided to go in with, and really pay attention. Get your priority list down. Really just write down all the things that you're working on right now. Just write it down on a piece of paper, and then take stock. I can't do this. Take stock and start kind of just numbering them at priority level. Like what would I think? Which is this a number 1? Yes or no? And if it's not, give it a number. It doesn't even matter. Just keep doing that until you get to the one where you're like, yeah, this is number 1. Or maybe you get down to like 2 or 3 things where you think they're both kind of number 1s. And label all 3 number 1s, and then get rid of the rest and make just a list with those couple of things, and then go through that process again until you get like what is really number 1, and figure that out. All right, so those were the tarot cards, and as always, I have picked a an oracle card from Colette Baron-Reid's Enchanted Map series. And I got the goblins. Man, this card, there's just some cards. I shuffle the crap out of this deck. And there's just some cards that seem to always kind of come up. I love these cards. Unfortunately, they're so nice and glossy that they are kind of hard to see with all the lighting. But there you go. That's kind of good. Goblins. All right, let's read out of the book. Goblins. Oh, we know what that's about already. Fear is an illusion. Choose love today. Forgive yourself and others. Goblins are born when you're wounded and something essential is lost in that experience. From that point on, as you forget your wholeness, they remain with you in the shadows. There, they remind you of what brought them into being. By mimicking your own voice, tricking you into believing that you're unworthy, victimized, or unlovable. They hold you hostage through low self-worth, self-sabotage, and the feeling that you're lacking what you need. If goblins pay you a visit, know that they represent the shadow of your own self or someone else's, and that they've been leading you into potentially a reactive situation. A goblin's card appearance is an opportunity for growth, however, and a signal that you must love yourself. No human is without flaws. The goblin's message is that you must release resentments and negative self-talk. Within you is the spark of the divine. Ask Spirit to help heal you. Miracles can and do happen. Let go of the negativity. All right, so the way I see that is the Goblin's card, I think, is pointing back to the Seven of Cups. The reason why we have so many things tugging at our attention most of the time is that a lot of these things are things that we have convinced ourselves that we need in order to feel good about ourselves. You know, gosh, if I don't really want to be a corporate executive, but if I work really hard, I become a director or a VP, then boy, that title, you know, people will be really impressed with me, and I'll make money, and I can, you know, buy a lot of fancy stuff, and you know, then after years and years of slaving away to get to that position and having that money, then I can actually start living the life that I want to lead. You know, wrong. It doesn't work that way. I know. I did it. I was at a VP level, and in the video gaming industry, and I had a job that most people would kill for, and instead it was killing me because it wasn't who I really wanted to be, you know. But I was like, gosh, if I do this, if I work really hard and I make it to this level, then, you know, I'll start to feel good about myself. And instead, I just started feeling worse and worse about myself because, you know, I was getting older and older, and I wasn't doing what my soul really wanted me to do. And so I was starving. I was starving internally. So a lot of the things that, you know, that we think we need, or that we think we need to do, really come from these goblins. And that's why it's so important to do that active meditation. And as you start to do those activities that are coming from your goblins, you will feel it. You will feel it. You'll feel it. You won't feel good. It won't make you feel good. It'll make you feel worse. Right? It will make you feel worse. That's what addictions are. Addictions are born from your goblins telling you to do this thing that it'll make you feel better when it actually just makes you feel worse. Because addictions never make you feel better. They always make you feel worse. That's what an addiction is. It's something that takes up your time and energy, and it robs you of your true wealth and abundance in life. And it doesn't grow anything for you. It takes away. It's like the difference between an expense and an investment. An investment actually, you know, gives you what you put in plus some back, and an expense, it just goes, you know, you never get that time, energy, or money back. So get really clear about what's a true passion for you versus what's what's a goblin distraction by doing that active meditation. All right, that's it for the week. I wish you all well. Be safe, be happy, be healthy, and I will see you again next Sunday. Take care.